Welcome back to another episode of World 1-1 Podcast. I am your host, as always, Larry the Bearded Wonder. With me is my sidekick, Eddie V.
I just spent almost $250 worth of games last week. Hey, everybody.
I was kind of expecting you to say you just spent $250 worth of ramen.
Ooh, goodness. That would fill,
I can see it happening.
That would fill my whole... Well, that depends on which ramen, though, and where I got it from.
Oh, no, we're going to get you like the 29-cent packs.
Shoot.
$250 worth.
Shoot, that's the Aldi's one. I wonder did Aldi's move theirs to like 15 cents a pack, or because then the much used to be like 10 cents a pack. So are you talking about Aldi's ramen? Then yeah,
Eddie's gonna build a house out of ramen bricks.
Should be concerned.
Also with me, as always, is Corey Hudson-Derrick.
That's me. I'm here, I think, right?
Yes, it's DC versus Marvel.
But I don't know. Anyway,
I'm just excited to have my computer space back.
Yeah, the wall behind you looks much better now.
I give it a month and a half before you change it again.
No, try what's today? Sunday? Give it 3 days because my wife and her sister still need to record more stuff, so it'll be moved on Wednesday. So, but it's okay. Okay, maybe. We'll see.
Yes.
Corey, what have you been playing this week? Tell me you played something good.
I played. I'm on the final. Well, I'm approaching Bowser's Church Castle thing in Mario Odyssey, so I'm almost done with that. I've actually been revisiting some games because my birthday is coming up, and I know I'm getting Wolfenstein 2 and Assassin's Creed Origins for my birthday, and I've been revisiting The New Order, which is not a great game to play, but a fascinating game to kind of watch play out. I don't know how much I like the gameplay in that game, but I do think the story is pretty compelling. And then I also am replaying Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, just because I want to see how much that game came out. So those are kind of the three things I've been playing. But other than that, I haven't really been playing a lot of games. Been kind of writing a lot. I've been trying to write more, and I want to see what happens with that. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Mario Odyssey is really the big game, though. I mean, I'm trying to get through it and see if I want to continue chasing moons or not after I beat Bowser. I've been very vocal about how 3D Mario games just aren't really for me, I guess. I prefer 3D World and the 2D ones, but Mario Odyssey is great for what it is. And I know, Larry, you and I talked about the issues we had with that game last week, and I'm sure you're going to talk a little bit more about that today.
Yeah.
So I'll just wait.
I know I caused a little drama on the NVC forums earlier this week. I may have spit some hot fire about Mario Odyssey, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Those are just the games I've been playing. Trying to finish Mario Odyssey, trying to prep my Switch for Doom and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So
is Doom this week?
Doom is Friday.
Oh, yes. Oh, dang it. Yeah, I got to pick that up. And I got to go pay off my Xenoblade Chronicles this Friday.
Yeah, and some of my friends are trying to convince me to get Call of Duty. Stay away from that, because I know after this initial week of hype, I'm just I think it looks fun for a little bit, but not something I would want to spend $60 on. So after this,
you're not hyped about more loot boxes?
No, that's Star. That's oh man, but that game comes out too soon, so I don't know. I'm trying to be very not buying a lot of games right now because holidays are coming up, birthday, all these things, and I've already kind of dispersed the list for people because, they want me to be greedy. So I'm like, okay, I guess I just want a bunch of video games. So, yeah.
So I have been playing a little bit more Mario Odyssey. I was really, I was in the middle of the Woods Kingdom or Wooded Kingdom or whatever the hell it is, and I was really digging it. I liked the captures in there. I liked the tanks. I liked the little
I think
tall, stretchy cactus things.
that level has like the best music I think in the whole
Oh
game.
my god, yes! I see that level for me is just like the outer castle music from Breath of the Wild. I just turn it on, let it play. That music is totally jammable. In any case, I pushed on a little further beyond that, and then I hit the Lake Kingdom. And oh my god, what a piece of fucking garbage that shit is. That almost stopped me cold right there. I almost just said, you know what? Nope, done. I can go trade this in now. I don't need this anymore. I was so not into Lake Kingdom.
The swimming and
the swimming sucks.
I think,
one.
Dude, the swimming, I went back and after that kingdom, I plugged in my Wii U and I played some Mario 3D World and I played some Mario 64, and I think the swimming feels better in Mario 64 than it does in Mario Odyssey. I'm not trying to be mean, but you could dive in Mario 64, and I still haven't figured out how to dive in Mario Odyssey, and I find myself
butt
just
stomp.
doing butt stomps.
Yeah, that's your dive.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, for me, Zelda is the clear winner for Game of the Years now. I was waiting to make my confirmation until Odyssey came out. And as excited as I am for Xenoblade, I don't really see that really moving the needle. So, I don't know, man. I have some issues with Odyssey. And not that it's not a fun game, but I think the camera doesn't feel great either. I don't know, man.
The camera doesn't bother me, but I will tell you, this is how much I did not like Lake Kingdom. Every fucking kingdom before that, I was all excited to get to the boss fight. Go get to the Brutal. Go see what was beyond that. For whatever stupid item they stole, like the flower saucer or the little ring statue person. Those were fun. I liked those. I really liked those. I got to Lake Kingdom, and honestly, I was so irritated with it. One, I felt frustrated in trying to figure out how the fuck to get to the boss. It didn't feel like there was any way out of the little hub area in Lake Kingdom. It just infuriated me the more I messed with it. And so I seriously poked around for just a little bit, and I thought to myself, all right, I'm going to give this thing 30 minutes. If I can't find enough moons to just get the fuck out of here after 30 minutes, I'm just done with the game. And I just barely found it. I was getting ready to be done for the night, and I found the last one that I needed to power the stupid thing to get out of the Lake Kingdom and onto the next thing. And I can't even. I want to play the boss fight, but I don't want to go back to Lake Kingdom. It sounds horrible, but it's just.
Oh, so you haven't
everything about it was terrible.
You haven't fought the boss in Lake Kingdom yet?
Nope.
Oh, you just got the side moons in.
Yeah, I just putzed around the plaza area and found some moons and then left. That was it. It's I kind of looked around and went, I can see the stupid boss ship over there. There is no reasonably clear, defined way to get out of the plaza and into the meat and potatoes of the Lake Kingdom.
You'll figure it out. It's not that hard to get to.
It frustrated me. I was not in the mood, and it's kind of put me off it. Like I haven't really wanted to pick it up much since. Now that being said, I did get to the first actual Bowser fight. That was fun. I liked the punchy hat. The punchy hat was great.
Yeah, that boss fight was really cool.
It literally is Mike Tyson, and I was all for it, dude. Like, literally, I was all for it.
I liked it. I also got through... Oh, hot damn, sorry. I also got through New Donk City, and as much fun as I had with it, I do have some minor gripes. This is one of those times where a mini-map would be useful. I did not like hunting for the stupid band members, and I was additionally irked when they're like, go underground to the power plant. Underground where? Everything looks the same. It's streets and buildings. So I'm just wandering around aimlessly going, is it over here? Is it over here? And then I found an underground thing, but it wasn't the power plant. I'm like, you said underground. Why is there more than one underground?
Welcome to my world when I played the original Metroid 2.
No, that game is linear and aim. It is
trying to find what to do in that game in the original Metroid is frustrating. But continue to go on.
You come here and we will walk.
To be fair, though,
you already know we're doing. You already know we're doing. Hold on, Corey. Hold on, Corey. Hold on.
This is 2017, and we've already had 5 3D Mario games before this.
Hold on, Corey. Before you continue on, you already know. A, I'm coming down there. B, we're getting King Gyros, and C, we're doing the Metroid run.
Mm-hmm.
So don't give me no sass about Metroid 2.
I know. I'm just telling you. We'll walk it through together, and when you see it, you'll be like, holy shit, how did I not realize it?
It's a mess. That's what it is. Now, also, if I smell those chicken and potatoes at that gas station, we definitely get us some.
That depends on when you come down here. It's kind of a seasonal thing since it's an outdoor fundraiser.
Usually I'll probably be there in the summer. No, because Christine's birthday, I think is in May?
June.
Because I should be down for that one. I know I'll be down for your birthday. I'm going to try to make it for Olivia's birthday too. I have to see how the schedule
That would be the earliest then, because that'll be March.
Right.
So.
Oh, sorry, Corey. Sorry, Corey. Go ahead and run off.
Oh, I was, what were we talking? We were talking about New Donk City. Oh, the best part in Mario Odyssey, though, was I'm not going to spoil anything, but was the ending to New Donk City, though.
That was a ton of fun.
The ending of New Donk City was amazing, and in a couple of weeks, I'll probably post some Mario Odyssey screenshots, just for everybody who's probably getting it soon or for the holiday or whatever. Mm-hmm. But man, the end of New Donk City was awesome. That was just a cool little Easter egg, I guess you would call it. But
it was adorable. I liked what happened when you got the musicians and the power plant, but like I said, it felt aimless getting to that, and mm-hmm. I didn't care for that. I like to wander, yes, but at least tell me which direction I should be going, and then let me decide if I want to go that way.
Yeah. I hear you. I mean, I have issues. For me, Mario Odyssey is a solid 8.5. It's a solid Mario game that hits all the right notes and all the right pieces, but I don't know, man. I was expecting more for some reason. Mm-hmm. Zelda was so good at doing so much. And Ed, Mario offers so much in such small spaces that it makes me feel overwhelmed. Whereas Zelda offers you so much freedom, mm-hmm. but at the same time, it wasn't overwhelming. I don't know. It's just
Zelda had the right balance of space and things to fill that space with.
Well, Zelda
Yeah.
had
Zelda
the,
knew how to make
I mean,
use of empty space.
but
too.
see, Zelda had to go in a new direction and prove.
Actually, Zelda went back in an old direction, really.
Well, actually, I feel like it was in a new direction because it had to prove, it had to break its tradition. And it hasn't been, it's been actually been a long time that Zelda broke any kind of tradition. You know, jumping from the NES to actually to the, N64, that was the first time a traditional Zelda has been broken. And then when they actually came to, Wii U and Switch with Breath of the Wild, another tradition was broke. And now that third tradition kind of just changed the whole genre of open world games. Has changed the direction of designing open world games.
Now, see, really, I think Breath of the Wild is probably the most like the original Zelda, though, because it hasn't really been since the original NES title where they just drop you in the middle and go, off you go, figure it out.
But that was like Zelda 2
Do whatever
also.
the hell you want. No, Zelda 2 was actually pretty ordered and structured.
Not really.
Because you couldn't get through certain palaces without certain items that came from other palaces.
But that's the same thing as Zelda 1. Zelda 2
no,
actually...
Zelda 1, you could plow through any of the dungeons in any order if you were actually determined enough.
But there were some,
Zelda 2,
there were some
you were
areas...
roadblock.
But see, there were some areas in Zelda 1 that you could not get to without certain items. So you had to go in those dungeons in a linear manner. There was stuff that you couldn't cross without the ladder. So you had to go to that ladder dungeon, but you also need something from other dungeons to get into Dungeon 5, to get the ladder. I think that's Dungeon 5.
So, though, the original was probably the least linear of any of them, aside from Breath of the Wild. You know, and if we're looking at that, Breath of the Wild at that point then really just took what the original NES Zelda did and just expounded and fine-tuned that concept a little bit more to the point where you could hit any divine beast in any order.
Well, yeah.
No matter what you did or did not have. Or not any of them at all and just go straight to the end.
Well, yeah.
Which, by the way, if you didn't see, they did just announce, too, that the next GDQ coming up, 8 GDQ in January, the final game of the marathon is going to be Breath of the Wild. All main quests completed. They're looking at a 4-hour run.
I wonder, are they doing what they call all shrines? Are they doing all the shrines or just for the 4 bosses?
I didn't see. It did say, like I said, all main quests completed.
Yeah, I think it's just like there's like 13 quests in the main line, I think. So they have to do all the divine beasts. They have to get through. They have to find like all the towns and make sure you get all the main quest stuff done in the main towns, and then go and then end it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, they're expecting like a 4-hour run for that. So that's coming up. That's going to be the last game of AGDQ for this upcoming January. So for those that enjoy tuning into that, like myself and my wife, that's something to look forward to. Since there's no Super Metroid this time.
Yeah, Super Metroid's been done so many times.
Yeah, I know. There's not very much you can do with Super Metroid anymore. Whoa,
that's the thing. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I did a little bit of poking around. Super Metroid has been a staple for GDQ basically since the beginning. Super Metroid is like the biggest pull of that fundraiser every time. It's the save kill the animals argument is the biggest moneymaker GDQ has. But what happened was, especially after this last one where they were running a 3-way race, 2 of the 3 players actually died, I want to say about a third to halfway into the run without enough time to restart and get up there again. And the last man standing almost lost it too. and so you would have ended up with a run where nobody finished in the allotted time for that. And so they said, you know what, this is getting too risky. We're just going to leave it out.
Fight of Mother Brain or for the last one?
No, it was Phantom.
Really?
Phantom is the tough one because Phantom's got a lot of RNG. There's a few different patterns that you could end up stuck with, and there's some significant damage that can be dealt, especially when you're running in there in the order that they're going.
Uh-huh.
You're going in there fairly low energy.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of wiggle room, and it's real easy to fuck your run right at Phantom.
That was so weird. Just when you just normally play Super Metroid, fighting him first before you could even go through that whole area, that whole zone. That was very weird.
But do yourself a favor if you haven't seen it. Go back and look up the last GDQ for that Super Metroid race. Oats and Goats, Zost, and there was one other, and I do not remember who the third was. But I know Oats and Goats got killed at the Phantom fight, if I remember correctly, and one other. And I think Zost was the one that actually made it through at that point. But yeah, take a look. It's not real far in before the two of them get killed off, and suddenly instead of a race, you've just got a one-man run, hoping he doesn't die.
Why are they doing it next year? Why wouldn't they do it in December?
Well, the next one coming up is January.
That's why I feel like that's weird. When you say it's the last one, I'm like, why not do it in December of 2017?
Because they do January and then summer, which is like July, August.
Okay.
So twice a year. But anyways, so yeah, that's a thing to look at and check out. It's interesting. But yeah, Breath of the Wild, it's hitting GDQ. So get hype, as they say.
Gatorade, get hype moment.
That's right. You got it.
Sports.
Well, sports.
So there's a piece from
Hold
Polygon.
on. Not yet, because I didn't say what I was playing. You didn't give me a chance. You just skipped over me.
I thought we were in there. I thought that was part of the ramen conversation.
No, you went to Corey. Did you started speaking? What does ramen have to do with video games? Well, if you're a college kid and you're broke, yeah.
No, that there is.
Eddie was playing the ramen collectathon.
I'm making ramen in Destiny. There's an emote to make ramen in Destiny.
So. No. So
there you go. Question answered. We now know what ramen has to do with video games.
Right. So let me go with PS4, Wolfenstein 2. I started that up. Weird mechanic for its health system. And I was talking to Jason from Nerds Gone Platinum about it because he beat it. So it starts you off with like 50, like for your health. And if you get extra health packs, it starts clocking down back to the 50. It is very weird because you could get shot almost about 4 times and then you're dead. Like you have to restart over. And it's hard finding armor in that game. I'm just like, I'm getting killed and this is only like the first level. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So from what I heard, there's been a lot of complaints about that. What
about how hard it is?
No,
or about the health system?
About the health mechanic. That they got all this health stuff laying around, but even if you pick it up, you can't keep it at what you got it. Everything always results to 50. So, and the only time it doesn't do that is if you drop down to, like lower and you get a health pack and it gets back to 50. It's very weird because it even shows you like a timer,
so it's like a temporary max boost.
Yeah, but the weird thing is that you get it and you're not fighting no enemies. So by the time you get to an enemy to fight, all it's back to 50. It's just weird, but it doesn't do that for your it doesn't do it for the armor and stuff. So I'll be getting more into that a little bit later on this week. Other than that, on Xbox One, doing a little more of Gears of War 4, a little bit more Halo 5. I have to return back to the Turing test, cause I feel like I'm halfway done. And I don't know if you finished it yet, Larry, or if you held off for a while.
I picked it back up again last night and remembered why I put it down, because I'm on a puzzle that is, I understand the logic of the puzzle. It's just fine-tuning placement of boxes to smack things around, and I got really frustrated with it, and I put it down, and I'm like, okay, I know the answer to this fucking puzzle. I just can't physically make it work at this point, and it annoyed me, and so I put it down.
Okay. Yeah, I just actually got stuck with other games. Like, I went back to Halo 5 and then just forgot the turn test. I was just thinking about it today. I'm like, I need to return to this game. I need to fin and work on it. Switch been playing Mario Odyssey and the Celestial Elephant. For Mario, I'm at the Seaside Kingdom, and I hope this is not a spoiler or anything for New Dunk City, but I actually love the fight with the electric centipede. Like, that felt like a
that was a ton of fun.
Yeah, that felt like a Legend of Zelda fight. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I like the steps of it. It just felt so good playing something like that. And then, like, the Celestial Elephant, like, just been enjoying that. I still gotta put up that review. Sorry, everybody, that I'm late. I will get that one up. And Mario Kingdom Battle, I've been playing also. So those kind of are the games that I have been playing. And I know, like, we talked about Doom is coming out this week, so I'll be picking that up. Picked up Ever Oasis and Hey Pikmin. Toys R Us had that, buy one get one for it. So I had to snag that one. From Target, I picked up Battle Chasers. I think Battle Chasers Nightmare or something like that for Xbox One. Return to Arkham. That was like
that
$20.
game's coming out on Switch soon, hopefully. Battle Chasers. Battle Chasers. I've been waiting for that game for so long at this point that it's like, man, where is it?
Well,
but they said they delayed the game because the architecture of the Switch is a little bit different and runs their engine a little bit different. And they hadn't, like, it's the same kind of issue that Yooka-Laylee was having, last month, where they were waiting to get all the updates from, what engine are those running on? Unity? They're running on engine. So, like, they're waiting on the most current updates of Unity to hit the Switch platform before they can publish their games. So,
okay.
Just because, like, the Unity engine is having some issues with some hardware on Switch or something. I don't know.
Oh, and I picked up
I'm not a scientist. I don't understand.
You're an engineer, not an engineer. And I picked up Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5. So I kind of took advantage of that Target and that Toys R Us sale.
Okay, my problem right there is if it's 1.5 plus 2.5, you have Kingdom Hearts 4 and nobody has 3 yet. This is bullshit. Fuck Square and their stupid numbering scheme. They can't ever put anything out in order.
I'm still mad at of a title called Infinite Undiscovery. That is still the worst RPG name for 360 ever. I'm like,
it still should have been called Infinitely Unimpressed.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Yikes.
What are you going to do?
I still think Lost Odyssey is the best Final Fantasy game.
Dang, and I still need to start that and Blue Dragon.
Yeah. I'm so happy when it was free last year on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I played like an hour of it. I'm like, yeah, I'm really into this. And I stopped playing.
Wow.
I was like, oh yeah, you have to read a lot.
Yeah. You know what? I haven't even started any of the original Xbox One games because I have Ninja Gaiden Black, but I haven't popped it in and installed it. And I still have. I know me and you forgot to start playing Dead Space. I forgot to call you. Be like,
yeah, we didn't get to any of that shit.
I think Jesse's playing Dead Space though, right?
Yeah, he is. Is Dead Space 2 on backwards or just the only one?
I think all 3 of them are.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea.
I think
Dead
all
Space
three
is
is
scary.
Dead Space is awesome.
Because I do want to go through Dead Space. I haven't still even touched like the Evil Within and Evil Within 2. I haven't touched neither of those two yet. But I need to. Like,
I need to do some more of Evil Within.
yeah, you know, I didn't even think about Neo. I was just like, should I? But then I was thinking about it, I'm just like, I know, might as well wait till the Game of the Year edition with all the season pass stuff. Since that one was announced and it's coming out. I'm like, dang, you're like, you guys haven't even dropped it past like $30. It's still like $50 right now for the original Neo. And then you're gonna charge like $60 for the Game of the Year edition. Like, might as well wait for that.
Yep.
But then hopefully during the holidays, hopefully Black Friday, a lot of Switch games go on sale, so I can start
I'm
picking
not
them up.
counting on it, actually. I'm really not. I think we've already seen an indication of what's happening. You know, there's been a few places like Toys R Us, I think, it might have been Toys R Us. I think Target and Best Buy were another one, though. They usually have a pre-Black Friday, like somewhere mid to late October to mid-November, where they do like a buy two, get one on like all video games.
Well, that's what Target
both of
just
them-
had. Target just had that last week.
Yeah. Target's excluded Switch games.
I think because they would have sold out. Because a lot of people, a lot of outside vendors, they like to buy up a lot of those kind of games to do resales, like or resellers. I guess that's what they call it. They like to buy up a lot of that and resell them at a higher price or something. So they'll like take a lot of that inventory out.
Yeah, but I mean, they specifically exclude, like, they didn't remove the inventory. They just said, yep, no, this is not included in that sale. And I seriously think that trend is going to continue through Black Friday, because keep in mind, the big thing with Black Friday is that stores will use those deals to get you in the door and then buy other shit at full price.
Oh yeah, well I know a lot of,
and they know that people will spend the money on their brand new Switch for games at full price, so they don't have to discount shit on that.
Well, yeah, I know a lot of them with those Black Friday deals. They try to put them on older games, or if they, trying to get rid of that stock, of that old stock of games that just haven't sold. So they'll definitely do it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Because I think that's what Target kind of really did for the sale. They was betting people to get it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Because a lot of their stock for those games are just still filled. Where Switches and even 3DS is like, their stock is like almost gone for their games.
Yeah, exactly. Which, again, comes back to, why would you put that on sale when you can sell it for full price?
But that's
because people will still buy it.
But that's very weird. Why is it that Nintendo, like, even with Nintendo sending like a lot of games to stores, why are their stock, like game stock, just like feel like it disappeared? Where Xbox One,
because it's selling.
But I'm like, but that's weird. Like PS4 and Xbox One, I'm just like, you guys got the higher tech than Nintendo. So why your games are not selling, even with all of these sales? Is it because everybody?
I think we've established it, and just Nintendo just has better games.
Yeah,
except for Horizon. Horizon's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
but that's like that and Hellblade are like the only two games that I played on other consoles that I was like, oh, these are pretty good. These are real good. This year, those were the only games that I played this year. Even Destiny, I was like, meh. I don't know, man. Nintendo got the magic this year, man. They just captured it.
I just find it weird that even like with Activision saying that Destiny 2 is the best selling game, I'm just like, but you got 15,000 copies still in the store. So I'm like, is this I wonder, is it because of digital?
Yeah, Destiny is one of the games that, like, the first game was one of the first games ever to outsell the physical copy digitally. Like, it sold more copies digitally than it did physically. And I think it's just because of the type of game it is. People just want it on their hard drive, just in case their friends are on and they want to hop back in. It's just a game one of those forever games. It's going to be on my hard drive forever. So
I'm going to pitch another thought to you, actually, too, that just occurred to me. If you look at the Switch physical library catalog, there's not a lot of shovelware. Most of the shovelware for Switch has been contained to the eShop.
And even then, it's like you don't see that much.
I still see a good hunk of it,
but they're like only about $5 or $7 or something.
I mean, but even some of the bad games on there had good ideas. Like what was that one procedurally generated Resident Evil type game on there?
What was that? Vaccine?
I think so. Yeah.
Vaccine. Where like the whole game was like procedurally generated, but it was like Resident Evil 1. Like that's a cool idea. The game just wasn't very good, but that's a cool idea, Yeah. The one that Ed and I used to make fun of all the time was that Vroom Witch.
Oh, God. That mess.
Garbage.
Yeah, let's make nice.
I think it helps.
Let's try to make nice Into Dreams, but let's just screw up everything about it and just put it as garbage. And I think it's so well too. I think people bought it just to see how bad that game was.
I'm sure it's one of those games that's so bad you have to buy it to see how bad it is.
But it does look like the majority of the shovelware, though, has been relegated to the eShop, and it's being kept off of store shelves, which I think helps perception-wise. Because you can still look through the shelves at Walmart for PS4 and Xbox One and see a lot of flat-out garbage. And so it's a lot easier to sell through your stock when all of your stock is good games that people want to buy.
That is true.
So there you go. There's a thought that I don't think has been tossed around a whole lot.
Plus, I think Destiny 2 with that pre-order, I guess the digital pre-orders, were mostly that they got the demo early. That's definitely for PS4 members. They got that, I guess, I want to say maybe 45 to an hour demo for the single player, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, but that wasn't anything. That was just server tests. I don't think it was anything special.
But I think that a lot of people who were planning on getting that game probably felt like that was a good bonus for them to add, for them to pre-order it. So
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I still we were having this conversation at work today how disappointing the end game of Destiny was, and it was just like, man, come on, man,
you expected anything else out of that game?
Well, yeah, because the end game it has the opposite problem of Destiny 1, where the story was garbage and the campaigns were bad, but the end game was fun, and the raids, the stuff they kept adding to the raids, like the hard mode, the challenge mode, the timed stuff, all that stuff added to the existing content, whereas this one's just it's literally the same thing, but just harder, and you don't get anything different.
And I actually think it's the level cap in Destiny 2 that messes up the whole end game, because you really can't do none of the side quests to make yourself stronger. I mean, it's to extend from the level that you're at.
Yeah, that's the problem too, where unless you're getting there's literally no reason to do. I don't need to talk about this anymore. But there's no reason to do any of the content because you're doing the public events, and it gives you the same rewards, and then your rewards are limited unless you get exotics. That's the big issue right now. So I don't know. We've talked to death about how not great that is, so I don't want to keep going.
But back to you, Larry. I know you want to move on to a certain topic.
Yeah. So. Polygon, who is, I'm sure as many of you know, well known for their quality writing. I say that with as much sarcasm as I can muster.
I like
don't remember the
Polygon.
last time-
I like
I
that
don't
writer.
remember the last time I read Polygon, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah.
everything's so, like, I understand, like, the goodness and the movement of politically correct and stuff, but, like, I don't know what you're going to talk about the article where, like,
This is going to be one of the
violence.
rare times where I will actually, just for full context, I'm not just going to post a link in the show notes. I'm actually going to go through this fucking article and we're going to rip this shit apart
Well,
like
you
the
are.
hot garbage it is.
You are.
I am. So, and I'm well open to feedback and some thoughts and comments here, but I'm going to share this with you because I know probably most of the people that listen to this are listening to the audio only and aren't going to dig up the article so that you know what the fuck we're talking about. I will stick a link to it in the show notes anyways, though. If you want to go see it for yourself, you're welcome to. But digging into it here, Polygon posted up a piece about a trailer, teaser, whatever, for The Last of Us Part 2. So, article reads as follows. Bones bludgeoned with hammers, a noose wrapped tightly around a struggling woman's neck, the blade of a knife pressed into a vulnerable stomach. The gruesome imagery Naughty Dog manages to cram into a 5-minute trailer for The Last of Us Part 2 is physically uncomfortable to sit through. The victims of the vicious assault, 2 women, are unnamed. It's not clear why we're watching 2 people be tortured, but we're asked to take in the extreme violence under the assumption that it will be rewarded with more information for doing so. That information never comes, however, and all we're left with is residual nausea. So I'm going to stop right there just for a second. First and foremost, if the trailer gave you the answer to the question, it would be a fucking terrible trailer because then you'd have no reason to play the game.
Well, I think most of it was just like you said first, it was 2 women. Why couldn't it be like men or anything? Why did it have to be women? Because it feels like with most of these
Why
trailers,
is it okay if it's men?
I think because every time there's a
If all
violent,
genders are equal,
but this
what's
is the thing.
difference?
I think it's because when there's violent trailers like that, it's always women being used. Like it's a easy, like women are the victim, are easy victim that's going to fit what they're trying to express. Because me and my friends from Extra Jump Podcast, we was just talking about this, and I mentioned like the first thing, like something that was violent like this that people had a problem with was the Tomb Raider reboot. You know, why do Lara Croft have to go through all of this kind of violent imagery and situations to sell that trailer? So why couldn't it, like, I think people would be able to handle it if it was man. If it was Joel going through it, I think people would understand it better.
That's your own, and I don't mean to like point a finger at you, but anybody of that mentality, that's your own personal hang up and gender stereotype talking.
Well,
That's literally saying it's okay if it's some dude that's getting his ass kicked, but not if it's like, seriously. The only difference at this point is a gender swap, and somehow one is okay and the other is not.
I think the period that
Same
we're
situation,
in,
same context. The only difference is your dangly bits.
I think the period that we're in with assault and stuff, and women being used for assault to sell a trailer, why couldn't they feel like why couldn't Naughty Dog be able to express what we'll get in the game? Meaning that from the first trailer when they showed The Last of Us, I think Last of Us 2 last year was PlayStation Experience, they showed Joel and Ellie. Well, they showed Ellie playing the guitar, singing the song, Joel coming in. So we don't see nothing for a long period of time. So now you just actually throw us a trailer that actually could have been for any game. It didn't have to be The Last of Us 2. It just happened to be put into it. Why couldn't people were expecting more for something that Ellie and Joel would have did. You know, people want that storyline because they played people who played The Last of Us played as these two characters throughout that whole game. So now you're trying to do something new, and while doing something new, you're doing something that's very violent and very unexpected that nobody don't have no kind of idea. You know, people want to know people want to have some kind of consistency to what they're going to be getting from a game. Because we don't know if we're going to be playing these people. We don't know if that's going to be a quick time event or anything like that. We don't even know if that scene is actually something that's going to be in a game. That's going to be final.
Maybe part of the mystery is how do we get to this point? What the fuck is happening here? Play the game, find out.
Right. And I think people...
But I'm okay with that.
I think people want some gameplay from The Last of Us too.
Everybody wants gameplay.
Well, yeah, but they want to see what they're going to be doing with Joel and with Ellie. They want to know, they want to get a hint, I should say, to be excited for this game, to be like, okay, if I could do this cool thing, or this set piece is really nice and this is what they're going for, I'm very hyped and interested. And I think the people at Polygon, or the opinionated piece at Polygon, probably felt that, okay, we understand what you're trying to do, but this doesn't sell us adults on the game. Because guess what? If they were able to tell a great trailer with let's say Breath of the Wild, and sold us, or even Horizon, they were able to sell us on that trailer, or sell us with that trailer to want to buy their game. Why are you giving us something this violent? We know you guys could cut a great trailer. You did it with Ghost of Tsushima. Like, that's a great trailer that they showed that sold you on the game. So they probably feel like at Polygon, you don't have to be violent to sell us the game. We know The Last of Us 2 is going to be violent, but you need to be more creative to deliver us a trailer that we're going to be excited about and talk about. And this uneasiness of us from this trailer, that's what they probably felt. Because a lot of people are feeling uneasy about that trailer.
Well, and maybe that's what it's supposed to convey.
Well, yeah.
You know, if you're talking about a suspense thriller horror survival game, you know, and uneasiness and uncomfortableness, you're supposed to experience that. That's part of the point.
Yeah, but
you're supposed to be off balance, and not okay with what's happening.
But I think people feel like this could have been displayed better.
It may have, you know, it's entirely possible, but you know, the publisher and the developer showcased it the way that they chose to, and you know, that is what it is essentially.
Well, I don't know, Corey. You probably
they took their artistic license and said that for the context of the game, this is an important thing for us to showcase in order to hook your interest.
Well, I want to get to that point on how Sony responded. But Corey, did you have any thoughts? Didn't want to cut you off or anything.
I mean, I didn't really watch the trailer. I heard it was pretty brutal. I'm like, I know what The Last of Us is. Like, this is just a sequel to a game that I personally didn't think was an amazing game. But, like, you know, I know Naughty Dog likes to push boundaries in storytelling, and, you know, that's what they're trying to do here. And I know a lot of things all the time get blown out of proportion all the time. Especially on the internet, and for better or for worse, Polygon seems to be leading that charge in some cases, and this looks like one of those cases. So, like, I just kind of I didn't even read the article. I don't look at Polygon. Like, I think it's full of a bunch of people who are trying to make a point just for the sake of calling out a point, and you know, it doesn't matter if it's good, bad, ugly, whatever, you know, it's always just overblown and whatever, you know. There's a couple other outlets that I have that issue with too, and it's just like, dude, it's a game. They put this trailer out for people to, you know, they put this violent, like seemingly violent trailer out to get people talking, and it's one of those things where any press is good press. You know, like this trailer got people talking and got people talking about Naughty Dog and PlayStation and The Last of Us. And yes, this cutscene seemingly was out of context, out of place. We don't know what's going on, like in the overall story. This is probably a cutscene, probably 2 or 3 hours into the game. Like, that's what this trailer was put out there to do, and it did its job. Right, we're talking about it right now. It's just like, with Polygon aside, Sony accomplished what they set out to do with. Everybody knows The Last of Us is a heart-wrenching game. Like, it's a game that plays with your emotions. You know, you look at the first half hour of that game, how much it plays with your emotions, especially like people who are playing that game that are parents. How would you feel if that happened to your kid? Like, spoiler ago, but like, it's a dark game, and they just got you talking about, the direction they're trying to go with this game.
But I think if you're going for that, don't try to have people talk about your game in a negative light. And I think Sony themselves didn't expect. Yes, we could talk. You could get people talking, but guess what, Corey? Me and you, when they announced Doom and Wolfenstein 2 for Switch, that got us talking. And that got us talking in a positive manner about those games.
Yeah, but like here's the thing, like Doom and Wolfenstein, like I know Wolfenstein's taking itself a little bit more seriously than it used to in the past, but like all in all, Doom and Wolfenstein are two games that don't take themselves too seriously. They're overly violent. They're overly like, big guns, run around, shoot stuff. Yes. And Wolfenstein is basically, Doom in the past with a little bit more critical story. They're actually trying to give BJ Blazkowicz a backstory. But Naughty Dog, at least since Uncharted 1 came out, has been a studio who is trying to drive home a somewhat serious story with compelling characters, a compelling world to visit. We saw that in The Last of Us, and especially Uncharted 3 and 4. Mm-hmm. Like, those stories were serious in tone, and they took you to places in a believable world. And The Last of Us took that one step further in creating a chaotic, post-apocalyptic survival type role. And that's the difference between something like what Bethesda's trying to do with Doom and pretty much all their games, except for maybe like The Evil Within or whatever. But like, they have a semi-serious story that they're trying to tell, but they also aren't afraid to make fun of themselves, and they're also self-aware. And, that's why we talk about that violence in a positive light, because like shooting a demon in the face and watching its guts go all over the screen and you cleaning off your shotgun in Doom is like hilarious, because it's not real, right?
Right.
Whereas The Last of Us, these are human beings beating up other human beings in a role for survival, right? And like them showing this trailer got us talking, not necessarily in a positive light, but we're still talking about it, and that's the job they want to do, because the world is not necessarily a positive place to be in,
Agreed.
So.
Well, and on that note, too, pushing the idea that you're dealing with this whole post-apocalyptic world thing. Welcome to a world where where it's just not a fucking happy place. Guess what? There's probably some really not happy things happening.
That's every day.
Yeah, but, I mean, you see the stuff that's happening in our world today, and you're like,
oh yeah,
man, this like this Last of Us trailer almost looks, childish compared to what's really happening.
Shoot, what actually like happened today? Like, I didn't even know about the shooting that happened today.
Yeah, I was scrolling through Facebook before we started and saw that, like, because I've been at work all day. I wasn't like checking things, but like, Yeah, that was terrible. And like you look at that, something like that happening, or the Vegas thing, or the countless other things that have happened this year already. Like maybe somebody breaking somebody else's arm is not the most terrible thing we've seen this year. So
Well, I think when Sony said they want to tell a adult story, I'm like, but you can't tell an adult story when you actually put a trailer out that young kids can see. Of course, kids are not going to look at Paris Games Week. I understand what the showcase and who it was for. It was for mature gamers, and PlayStation fans, older PlayStation fans. But if an 8 or 9-year-old somehow get a win of this, or a parent of who don't know anything about The Last of Us, if they would have got a win of this trailer, it would have been a problem. And I think Sony didn't really think that out. I think Sony probably guessed that, when we put this trailer out, this is for The Last of Us fans, Naughty Dog fans, and PlayStation owners. That's all we were thinking about. They're literally not thinking about that, maybe parents of little kids may see this. Maybe people who are watching Fox News who catch a wind of this, maybe this might show up on, and this might cause maybe negative press for us.
Yeah, but everything can cause negative press for you if the right person gets a hold of it.
Oh yeah.
If you choose not to put something out into the world because somebody somewhere might see it, then we'll never get another fucking anything ever again.
Yeah, I agree.
At that point, you just have to make a decision. Go, this is what we're looking to showcase.
Mm-hmm.
We have a reason behind it. We may choose not to reveal that reason yet in order to pique your curiosity and get you to buy our game and find the answer to the question.
I think it probably would have been more acceptable if they did cutaways with the camera, and literally did sound effects and leave it up to the imagination. For this trailer, I think that probably would not still
like the end of the original Last of Us trailer when. Or not the first trailer, but there was a trailer where Joel and Ellie were making their way through a house. It was kind of like a gameplay demo or some sort of like, here's what the tone of the game is going to be, and they're making their way through this house stealthily, and they're like, taking guys down and sneaking through this house. And the last shot was Joel pulling out a shotgun, loading up a shell, taking a guy down and shooting him in the face. But like right when the shotgun went off, the screen cut to black. And maybe they could have gone that direction with this, but at the same time, like, I'm kind of watching it right now. Like, it's pretty grisly, but like at the same time, there is so much worse out there that like I just think the seriousness of the story that they're going to probably tell in this, and the seriousness of the situation made this like the violence seem a little bit more heightened than it really was, and the fact that like there's women involved is also like, not a very, like, I don't want to say good thing, but like, it's like, with everything that's happening with, diversity and empowering women and race type things, like violence towards women or, even involving women is like a very hit or miss subject unless you do it right, like Ed, like what you said a few years ago with the Tomb Raider stuff. And this is like that cranked up to 11. So, I mean, I think it's the world we live in, and this industry is so just trying to do, like, for better or for worse, trying to make everything politically correct and make sure everything is the way the world wants to see it, that sometimes when something like this happens, it's a stigma against the industry, and people feel like maybe we've worked so hard to make this industry a valued part of the entertainment industry, and something like this is like, I don't know. Yeah,
I think some people have become so desensitized to this. So some people just accept it after they watch it and just be like, okay, this is a trailer. I understand. I've seen this so many times that I'm not even bothered with it. I wasn't bothered with it. I think, and I didn't even read the Polygon article, because I know just people were just talking about it. And I kind of feel more that this could have been cut different than what was actually shown. Like there are creative ways to do violent showings, to showcase, violence and try to get your point across. I think there's creative ways to do it. And I think Naughty Dog wanted to be like, no, we need to show this because this is raw and this is what's in this world. So we're going to have to go that route. I just think they could have did it more creative. If you're trying to go for a movie experience, then sometimes you have to think almost like a movie director on how does this look, because the ESRB, I really wonder if Sony's trying to go for a adult kind of theme, should something like this fit the AO rating? Because when Manhunt 2 did something kind of did some of this the same stuff, the ESRB literally gave that game AO. So why is this content that they showcase, why is this going to be considered as mature and not AO? And I don't think Naughty Dog and Sony actually thought about that. I think they just approved it, showcased it, and now it is what it is. Because if Sony wants to go to trying to tell an adult story, then this game, and that being included in this game, that this trailer, that needs to be rated AO. And Sony needs to accept that if they want to tell this kind of story. If they saying that, well, this is for adult gamers.
Well, that's up to the ESRB to make that decision on what that rating is. But,
true. And
I say though, kudos to Naughty Dog for putting it out and going, this is the world that you are going to step into. Fucking brace yourself. It's not pretty, it's raw. And on the note of, thinking like a director, that kind of raw, unfiltered thing, there's something to be said for, a one-shot scene where there is no cutaway.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you may be dealing with the video game trailer equivalent of that. Honestly, I think it's a cheap tactic when every trailer, you see that final hit coming like a shotgun blast to the face, but the camera just goes to black rather than showing you what actually happened. It's like, we all know what's there. Seriously, you tuned in to see this, but suddenly you're not okay seeing it.
I think people have.
If you're in for The Last of Us Part 2, you know what you're in for.
I think people can accept that, but it has come to a point for Sony themselves and a little bit of Microsoft, but just focusing mostly on Sony, that everybody now wants gameplay. I think people are sick of just seeing trailers of a game. You need to show us.
News in general, though.
that's old news. But the thing about it is that if you're going to showcase a trailer for a game and then for almost a whole year show us another trailer without no gameplay, I think people are getting tired of that. People want gameplay. They want finalized gameplay, or they want an idea of what the mechanics are going to be. And I think that's why people, when they talk about Nintendo and the Nintendo Directs, like, they'll show something. Okay, we'll see. We got just a little thing about Metroid Prime 4. People complain about that. That's fine. But if we see next spring in the Nintendo Direct,
nobody complained about that. We got the news that we wanted.
Well, yeah. And then they literally threw us for a loop for the Metroid Metroid Samus Return. I was just like, wait, what's going on? What's this craziness? But if Nintendo show like actual gameplay for Metroid Prime 4, people are going to be more excited about that because now they know what they can expect. They're getting an idea. And that's why people who are looking at this trailer, this violent trailer, just like, okay, we know that we're going to probably get more stuff like this. But show us gameplay. Show us what you're going to put Joel and Ellie through. That's more important to us than this little trailer.
That may be, but the lack of gameplay was not the complaint about this trailer.
Yeah,
plain and simple.
Well, yeah, but I think that's what people are kind of getting tired of Sony about. Stop showing us just cinematic trailers and actually show us the game. Because what happened, I think what's happening right now is that you're showing the cinematic trailers and you're dropping the game. And that doesn't work for us. For some gamers like me, that doesn't work no more. You did it with Mass Effect Andromeda and see how that turned out. For me personally, if you're going to show me a trailer to hint what's going on, that's fine. Now I need gameplay so I can have a better discussion with you guys or with anybody about what we seen. Because the trailer that they dropped for Monster Hunter World, shoot, I stayed up to watch it for Tokyo Game Show also, and I got a better understanding. Now I could talk to people about that Monster Hunter World and what we could expect and stuff. People want to have those discussions and conversations. They don't want to be like, well, this thing was violent. Well, of course it's violent. That's the conversation.
So, but yeah, I was totally going to read through this whole article and just rip it apart piece by piece. But honestly, I think over the course of this, we've managed to hit on most everything that I wanted to without me having to actually read the fucking verbatim. So I'm closing the window as we speak. And I'm willing to say, for the sake of keeping this from going stupidly long, which it would otherwise.
But can I say, Larry?
I'm okay with my final thoughts on that and where it is.
But Larry, can I say that I understand where you're coming from with this piece? Yeah. I literally understand where you're coming from. Like, I don't even think it needed to be written. I think you already know people are going to have his problems, and it's already been stated. But I understand why it's infuriating to you. I understand it.
So, I don't know. I think there's a double standard that's been in place for a long time, and we're seeing that pushed even further with PC culture. No, not personal computer. But I've yammered on that topic before, and I'll probably do it again. And like I said, we're starting to run long, so I'm gonna wrap up here. Corey, any final thoughts?
Not really. I think this whole thing was like, yeah, the trailer was violent, but at the same time, I think a lot of us have seen violence before in a lot of games, like maybe not, I don't know, graphics are also getting so realistic that it's like, sometimes it's questionable to show this kind of stuff now, but at the same time, it's like, we don't say this about movies. We don't get into conversations like this about, TV shows or games or like music and stuff. Like, all those conversations for those mediums have already been had, and we're getting to that point because, gaming is compared to those ones, such a young industry that, we have to start thinking about that kind of stuff now. And with how technology is growing and with how, graphics are getting so good and everything, like maybe we start having these discussions at the same time. We've all seen violent movies. We've all seen, violent TV shows. Some of the most popular TV shows on right now are super violent,
we've watched Hostel, we've seen Saw.
I mean, we all saw the Curb Stomp and American History X. Like, it's there, man. And it's like, we have a rating system for a reason, right? I mean, kids shouldn't be playing this probably, but I think we're all mature adults who can handle this type of thing. And if you can't handle it, maybe sit this one out, and there's plenty of other games that do quite the opposite. Look at Mario, look at, a lot of Nintendo things, look at some of the other things Microsoft's doing right now with Super Lucky's Tales, or the Rare Replay collection, or there's plenty of other games out there. I mean, even if you only have a PlayStation, right? Knack is doing something different. Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted, Horizon. Some of those games are violent, but not like overly grotesque violent. So maybe sit this one out if your stomach is churning, but at the same time, it's like, come on, we've all seen this in other outlets before, and it's time for video games to have this discussion or this type of moment or whatever, and it's something that people may just have to get over.
So Corey's saying, you know what? Nobody made you buy the fucking game. Get over it.
That's true. And like I think like, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of Sony's exclusives, but I kind of give them credit for like, cool. I'm like, good job on like not holding back really, because like way to take the first step into this, giant whatever. Like, okay, I know we want to wrap this up, but like,
you actually hit on something I wanted to touch back on too.
Oh well, like look at God of War, man. Like we saw Kratos like doing some things like cool that were like questionable for that time. So
slaying fuckers and getting bitches.
Yeah.
But no, yep. you hit on something though that I think is worth mentioning. You mentioned the curb stomp in American History X, and I kind of had the thought rolling around in my head, and I didn't verbalize until you had it there. You can't push boundaries or limits without it being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Some of the most prominent, pertinent things that have come out of cinematography, over the decades have been things that up front aren't going to be fucking pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for them to have the effect that they do, they had to be the way that they are.
But there are ways to handle it. Not saying that you're wrong, Larry, because I agree with both of you guys. But there is a way when you do have that conversation. Now going forward, there's a way to handle it. Mm-hmm. Like if you already pushed the boundary, now that boundary is there. The discussion is there. Now, past that, now you need to handle it, because some people might just now use that boundary just to showcase it, just to show off.
Mm-hmm.
That's their prerogative too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the
nobody
other thing
made
too.
you watch it. Nobody's making you buy it. You have every right to change the channel or not click play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing too. If this game turns out to be like a massive critical success too, Sony and Naughty Dog are going to be praised for pushing the boundaries too. Like they're going to be scored based on how great the game is, how great the story is, just like every other game. But like a lot of people, not necessarily this group, but a lot of people think Naughty Dog is the premier studio for storytelling. And a lot of people judge them that way when they score their games. And if mm-hmm. they come out with a game that tells a fantastic story and plays sort of well, I guess, for a Naughty Dog game, and tells this compelling story, Sony and Naughty Dog are going to be praised for pushing the boundaries.
They're going to get a pass because it's Naughty Dog and it's the Last of Us 2 sequel. That's it. They're going to get a pass on this game.
I don't think they've gotten a pass. I mean, I think the conversation that we've just had shows you they're not getting a pass.
They're going to
get a pass. They're already being called on the rug for, their conduct with this, which, frankly, I don't have an issue with their conduct.
They're going to get a pass because they're Naughty Dog and it's The Last of Us 2. They're going to get a pass. They could tell a horrible story because it's Naughty Dog. They're going to get a pass. We're not going to be not this discussion. This trailer that they showed.
Eddie has just said that every reviewer and gamer that plays anything Naughty Dog is shit at their job because they can't identify whether or not it's actually a good game.
Yeah,
they do it for Grand Theft Auto. Look, they do it for Grand Theft Auto. Why not do it for a Naughty Dog game?
Yeah, I mean, I've been verbal about how I feel about Naughty Dog games. I think they're good. I don't think they're fantastic. But at the same time, it's like, there's a lot of people out there, especially within our communities, that love Naughty Dog games. And that's, there's people who, there's a lot of games that we like that people don't. Right. So, and people get on us for being huge Nintendo fans all the time. Like, it's just one of those things, man. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, and we'll see when this game comes out if it's good or not, and then we'll talk about it, and I'm sure we'll revisit parts of this conversation.
Actually, I realized some of my biggest gushes over the last year have not been Nintendo. Look at The Witness. I can't tell you how many times I've creamed myself over that game.
Inside came out this year too, right? Was that this year? Or
last
was that
year?
No, that was last year. But that's still up there.
And it's not that good of a game.
We know that it was within about the last year, give or take, that I managed to get my hands on Ori and the Blind Forest, which, just fucking ranks right up there for me.
Very superb.
We've been talking over the last week or so about Turing Test.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff out there that we gush on beyond just Nintendo. Shovel Knight's another one. It's predominantly looked at as a Nintendo thing, but it is a multi-platform. There's nothing that is specifically Nintendo about Shovel Knight. But there's a lot out there that we do gush on. It sometimes just feels a little heavy-handed with the Nintendo stuff, but there's more balance out there than that, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So. Woo!
And everybody, just get Metroid Samus Returns for DS because it's so good. I'm sorry, that game is so good.
Go buy it again.
I'm still jealous of you, but love you, Larry, for that English, for that special collection.
The Legacy Edition.
Yes, I just love that. So good.
It is so gorgeous. It's so good.
See, everybody happy endings. But go ahead, Larry. Go ahead and close us out.
Yes. So. As always, you can find us at our home on shoutengine.com. Audio version of this show is also, as always, available on iTunes and Google Play Music apps. We do appreciate if you give us a rating and a review on iTunes and or Google Play. You can also find us. You can find the video version of the show on YouTube on the NGR radio channel. Along with the whole host of other awesome stuff that NGR does as well, including PAL Block, Platinum, Arsenal X, and everything else that's coming along as well. Other than that, like our Facebook page, go check out the NGR Facebook page and the NGR community forum as well. That's it.
And shout outs to everybody who did the extra live streaming yesterday and raised money for their the church and hospital and everything. Congratulations to all you guys out there. Just want to shout them out.
Actually, that reminds me. One of a friend of the show was doing some extra life stuff on Friday. Was Keith Kaisershot was doing a stream of Journeyman Project Turbo.
Oh, nice.
So shout out to Keith. Keep up the good work, sir.
And I guess with that, everybody, we will see you next time on World 1-1 Podcast. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.